For more on BMW and the market for luxury cars, we are joined right now by Bloomberg News columnist Jason Harper. All right, Jason, Eric and I are going to put our envy aside that your job is actually to drive these cool cars and write about them. But we have to ask, the 5 Series sold out. We were just speaking with an analyst who said, you know, we shouldn't be concerned from a supply point of view. It's going to hurt their numbers. What was it like?
You know, the 5 Series, this is a 6th generation of the 5 Series, and it's a pillar for BMW. It's one of their really strong cars. So good news is the new 5 Series is actually a fantastic car. So the 3 Series is sort of like the young exec, the ambitious young guy. The 7 Series is
girl.
Sort of the,
Come on, Jason.
Or woman,
a little
for
shout
sure.
out.
They are kind of masculine cars, though. They does skew, BMW does skew masculine, I find. But the 7 Series is kind of a big, heavy CEO car. The 5 Series is sort of that, you know, the perfect Goldilocks. It sits in between. So it's very important for them to do that car right. If they don't, then they do lose numbers and reputation.
It seems like they did do it right.
They did. The last generation was kind of ugly. It was sort of controversial as far as the styling. This one actually looks like a smaller 7. So it's a very mature looking car, and yet it drives a lot like the 3. So it's sort of the best of both worlds.
When you're choosing a BMW 5 Series, this car that just is helping the company knock the cover off the ball, what are you choosing it over?
You know, you're sort of looking at, you've got room in the back. It still is fun to drive. So you're looking at sort of the E-Class, the Mercedes. You're looking at probably the A6, the Audi. But the A6 is old. There is a new E-Class. So really, it skews toward the sort of guys who do like to drive a little bit and also like the status.
All right, you mentioned Audi. They have a pretty aggressive campaign here, and I mean, even up against BMW, you know, there's always the one that finishes first, there's always the one that finishes second.
Have you seen that commercial?
Yes.
It's
So Audi, I mean, is going after pretty clearly BMW here. Are they going to get it?
Well, what's interesting, about 4 years ago, Audi decided they were going to sort of attack the lifestyle. BMW's been very old school, sort of like the road and track, the car and driver reader. You know, they try technology and the driving aspect is what they sell. Audi's been very clever in that they are pushing the fact that, you know, the cars are now sexy, they're fun to drive, they're great cars to be seen in, and I think BMW needs to sort of catch up on this angle, which is a good way to sell cars.
How important is it, Jason, for makers like BMW in particular to come out with a new model, a new generation, especially after the style criticisms of the last one? I look at the 5 Series from the 1980s, it looks horribly dated, not to mention about the same size as the current 3 Series.
Right. Exactly. This is the 6th generation and is really important. I mean, the A6, Audi just released sort of the information on new A6, and you know, if you're going to buy one of these cars right now, you're going to look at am I going to get the old A6 or the very updated new, you know, BMW? So, and it's got all this technology in it that you're not going to find on the older models.
Now, one interesting thing that you mentioned, because you do get to drive these, all right, I'll wipe my tears, but you say you can actually have a heavy foot if you're not paying attention.
Boy, one thing I noticed about, okay, I just got a ticket last week.
How many tickets? That's what I don't.
I actually do very good. In a 1 Series BMW last week, I got a ticket, which is very, very rare for me. I haven't had a ticket in years. But these cars are so smooth and so fast that, you know, you don't hear the engine loud. It doesn't seem like you're going faster on the highway. And
all right, well, that'll be my excuse the next time I get stopped. Well, Jason Harper, thank you very much. Jason Harper joining us there. He is a Bloomberg columnist.